Hi, I'm Doug with Show-Rite, and this is Hunter, a Show-Rite feed specialist. We're going to talk about breaking and training your show pig today. Maybe one of the more controversial or challenging aspects of the show pig project, at least for us at home, I know can be stressful, time-consuming, but it is of utmost importance.
Yeah, for sure. I'll go ahead and obviously talk a little bit about it. It can be frustrating, guys, and we'll be upfront about it. And maybe Doug and I aren't even the best people to talk about breaking hogs, because we had a little laugh in the back that, it's hard and you got to be consistent in what you do. But one thing we want to talk about in breaking those animals is obviously it's the bare minimum, right? And obviously if your pig's in the corner or something like that, it's really tough to win a hog show. So no matter how easy or hard it is, we have to do it at some point. And I did a clinic the other day, and a girl asked, how long does it take to break your pig? And it could be, you bought a pig that's broke at a live sale and you continue to walk and it's broken a day. Or some of them, hard-headed Chesters sometimes take a month to break. So it's just about consistency. And one thing we want to talk about is having some patience and having trust in that animal. And one thing I want to hit on before Doug kind of takes some stuff away is you have to walk that animal. If you guys have 10 pigs and you have a brother and a sister, you have 5, they have 5, make sure you're walking your pigs every single day, because sometimes you might hold the whip a little different than your brother, or you might hit a little softer or harder than your sister or something like that. So when that animal trusts you and is used to your whip style, they're used to your demeanor, that is very, very advantageous to obviously continuing to go get your pig broke. And then patience, and I'm probably the worst person on our team to talk about patience, and we'll grab a herder board in a pipe and get after them. But you can't do that. You have to have patience, and whether you're walking those animals in pairs, then continuing to weed that off, you just have to be like, okay, this animal's maybe not going to get their head up and broke in the grass right away. It's a different atmosphere. It's different things. You're not going to be, obviously ready to roll at a different school event maybe, and when you're a young kid. So think about that like your show pig is. Be patient with them. Know that it's going to be hard on them as well. It's going to take you a little while to get your hog broke.
Yeah, Hunter, you talk about patience, and I think the one other thing is trust. We've bought pigs from live sales. You've bought them off the farm. Some come whip broke, some aren't broke, but they're not necessarily broke to you. Mm-hmm. And I think building trust with that project is key and number one. So the pig is comfortable with you, and they're comfortable with the way that you hold your whip, your posture, all those different things. I think one thing, though, regardless of that, is starting in a small space, whether that's the alleyway of your barn, a small pen outside, getting to a point where the pig trusts you in that space, where you can walk that pig in that space so he's not getting away from you. And then once, I try to tell a lot of my families, early on, they don't get out of the pen without 2 whips. Mm-hmm. Okay, you don't, whether you're going to the wash rack or the scale, there's 2 whips on them. They need to be trained that they're always going to have their head up, and you're going to be working on them, and they're going to get comfortable with having 2 whips. I know at home, getting my own kids comfortable with having 2 whips is a project in itself. You talked about pairs, right? I think that can also build comfort with the pig and you for taking those pigs out in pairs. I think those small steps can be a very big aspect to having a successful trip. But I think the one thing that we haven't talked about is small repetition. Don't go spend 30 minutes and trying to break that pig to be showmanship broke in 30 minutes. 5, 8, 10-minute spurts every day can go a long way of getting that pig comfortable, having that pig have trust in you, and getting that pig's head and getting his pace broke the way you want.
Yeah, for sure. And we know everyone's busy out there, right? They play sports, they do things. Some are in college, and it's hard to come home on weekends and stuff like that. But if you walk your animal for 1 hour a day, 1 time a week, it's just not going to happen, right? Whether you can talk your buddy into doing it or someone helping out, try to get home, try to work with that livestock. And like Doug said, if you can only do it once a day, at least you're doing it once every single day. And having that repetition, that animal knows, okay, I just ate, I'm going to go out and walk now. And it helps just so many aspects of that animal's life. And we talked about small steps, right? I think one thing I want to talk about, and maybe it goes back to the first thing we said in trust, spend a little time inside their pen with them. If you can rub on their belly, if they can lay over, if you can brush on those animals, they're obviously going to be a little more trustworthy to you, and it's going to be easier to break those animals. If you go in their pen, they run in the corner, and you think they're going to be broke outside because you walked them 4 times, we're here to tell you it's not going to happen probably right away. And it's hard to say, but it's the truth, right? If you can go on that animal while they eat, they're going to be a little scared of you if they're 50 pounders and you just got them off the farm or bought them online or wherever you may have bought them. Go in there and brush on them, love on them, rub their belly. And like I said, go out with 2 whips, whether it's with a buddy, and then try to weed them off that as the days go on. So if you guys are saying, man, I walk in pairs all the time. It goes faster, it's easier. We get those aspects, and we agree with that. But man, you don't walk with that same pig in that same class every time you're going to show. So if you are, splitting those animals when you're at the show, one of them might go a little crazy on you. So we just want to make sure that you have all those, aspects of showing the livestock out before you're in the show ring. Another thing we want to talk about, like we said, is multiple whips, pairs, continuing small steps. Is there any small steps that you work with your families, Doug, that has helped you getting those animals broke?
Yeah, we really try to, we'll start with some pairs, getting those pigs comfortable outside, taking multiple trips, and then changing things around. I think that one of the key aspects to breaking and training is getting you and the pig comfortable being uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. Getting to a point where that pig is trusting you to go where you want it to go, and you trust yourself to get that pig where you want him to go, and it's not the same every time. Changing up the path, changing the duration. Sometimes it's longer, sometimes it's shorter. Because we've all been to that show where that judge is quick and we're in and out, and there's times where you've got to drive him in showmanship or drive him in the grand drive for a long time. Or it's a long trip, from the back of the barn to the show ring. Mm-hmm. Those things I think are very, very important. I think you can wrap it up, in my opinion, by saying train your pig to be comfortable while they're uncomfortable, and you'll have great success. Mm-hmm. If you have any more questions, reach out to a Show-Rite specialist, and as always, give us a follow on all social media platforms for more tips from the feed room.